Yes, sir. Do you need a mic? Okay, Rebecca's coming.
So the way we take care of soldiers who have, or families who have lost soldiers in uniform really matters. And the reason I bring this up is I come before you this morning as a Gold Star family member, a Gold Star spouse. I'm going to tell you a story this morning. Some of you in this room have already heard it if you've attended this panel before. But in 2006, I was a squad leader in Samara, Iraq. I deployed there with my unit, the 82nd Airborne. And during that deployment, about 3 months in, we lost 2 soldiers. One of them was 19-year-old PFC Bicknell. And the important part of that is he left behind his 19-year-old wife who was pregnant at the time. So at the age of 19, being pregnant, she had absolutely nothing. She was left all alone. The only thing that she had to rely on was SPP, DIC, and the medical care that the Army was going to give her. Now she's got that for the rest of her life, but with one caveat. She's not allowed to remarry until the age of 57 without losing any of those benefits. She loses those benefits entirely as soon as she remarries. So that rule right there completely forbids her from moving on with her life in a productive manner the second she does something like that. So the reason I'm standing before you right now is because I know Congressman Bishop is a sponsor of the Love Lives On Act, which is a really important piece of legislation, and that would essentially allow family members to be able to move on in a situation like that. I find myself in the same situation as that 19-year-old spouse. I'm not 19, although at the time I found myself in the same situation, it would be 21 years to where I could move on and be able to remarry without losing those benefits. So this is something that impacts family members who have lost soldiers in uniform. I was dual family, I was dual military at the time. So, you know, I had a little bit of other benefits that I could rely on. Not everyone finds themselves in that same place. So that was just a little bit of something that I wanted to bring up. I know it's quite a shift, strikes a little bit of a somber tone, but the last war we're going to fight is not going to be the last war that we ever fight. And the way we take care of our soldiers moving forward really matters. And if our family members know that they're going to be taken care of in the event that something like that happens, they're much more likely to be willing to place their soldiers and family members in harm's way. So thank you very much for your time this morning. I just wanted to bring this to everyone's attention. Thank you very much for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you for raising that. And of course, while it's not the focus of this panel, an incredibly important issue. And I know, Brooke, your team spends a lot of time on the Hill. My team spends a lot of time on the Hill. Rebecca, obviously, here from Congressman Bishop's office. And so we have heard you, and we truly appreciate that. I'm sure if there's any follow-up, we can find you today. Those kinds of stories, just so you all know, when we do spend time on the Hill, the stories mean so much. Being able to bring voices from the community to the conversations that we have is exactly what we need to be able to move an issue forward. So thank you for taking a minute to stand up and to share that with us and remind us of the importance of those kinds of things. Brooke or Rebecca, anything that you all would add, or do you feel that summarizes for now? Yes, absolutely, please. That would be wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, CSM Betty, reserve, like my partner, Chief Nunes. Just on the Army Reserve side, he went into some of the challenges on child care. For us, for a reserve component, if it's not just, we don't serve in just the state that we live in. We serve anywhere in the country, in the world. So I'm a New Yorker. And I can serve. Right now I'm in DC because I got to stay next to the SMA. So he keeps track of me, right? So I get that point. But if I'm a regular, just a TPU weekend warrior type, where he said 1 week, 1 weekend, 2 weeks here, it was 39 days. If I gotta go to California, elsewhere, and I got a child, it's not daycare that we need. I need weekend care. So how do you pay for weekend care? That's that daycare that he talks about with 300, that we made that 400, that E4, making that 400 for that weekend. So now how do we pay for overnight care? And we know how the airline's been lately. What if that plane is now, on Sunday, I'm trying to get home from VA, battle assembly, and that plane just doesn't make it. Now I gotta wait the following day to get home. Now the work issue and everything else. So it is a struggle. Luckily now, like I said, I'm in DC area because of the job I'm in. I'm full-time. But my wife, she lives in New York with the family. We just sent off the last kid to college, so that's good. She's an empty nester. But we didn't uproot her, so we don't have that problem of she's had to find another job, come down to DC area. So she stays, so I'm like a geobatting, but luckily I'm close enough where I can go back, right? But a lot of people don't have that if you're cross country or you're in another country or wherever you're located. So those are some of the things some of the challenges that we have in the Army Reserve. We do have what we call AJRs, and they're active duty. So they do PCS as often as Compo 1, our active duty soldiers do. So those are some of the challenges that we have. So I appreciate that. We do have reserve actually on the panels, but we have some problems. Sometimes we don't get our voices heard. So thanks, Chief, for being up there and saying the things that you're saying and bringing the reserve aspect to the forefront, because we do need to be heard. So I appreciate it, Chief.